Well, I think I know somebody just that enjoys torture. Just saying. Oh, what a lovely, cool, breezy morning at the Ponderosa. Now, we're really not here to talk about a legal case, but more so on stupidity, which equals different types of negative responses or actions for his legal situation. How's that for wording? Well, as many of you know, he's obviously lied again. He wasn't being transferred to Bikitan yet. You notice I said that word yet. Another lie when his lips are moving. But now, and what happened is he maybe got limited use of his phone, maybe to supposedly call his girlfriend a lawyer or order some food, but he's sneaking in some shows or comments and things like that. Obviously, you guys are intelligent enough to know that his other show is guilty as sin, and he's doing a really bang up job of making himself look like a fool, like nobody knows that's him. So he's talking kind of like in third person, whatever. Funnier than shit. We know who you are. But talk about a guy under the worst circumstances that still refuses to get off his phone when the damn guy is incarcerated over 21 months and facing a continued trial, criminal trial. Oh, what's his newest one now? The civil case in Hawaii, according to attorney Barry Jordan. There's a $10,000 reward to capture the horrible criminal on a civil suit. That's rich. Oh my, oh my, oh my. No, I don't have a criminal record. Not in Hawaii, not anywhere. Okay? Needless to say. But you know, when you're really in a horribly desperate situation, and you're just grabbing at straws, grabbing at straws, anything, a branch, straws, you know, a turd bowl that might be available to grab on, anything that's going to keep your psyche above water in light of the horrendous situation he's in and his pretty much guaranteed future. That's pretty desperate. Oh, I had a civil case from some tenants. Long story. They played this out and got what they got out of it, really. Tenants were claiming this and that. They were like 4 months non-payment, refusal of rent. They knew I was selling the house. They thought they'd make a paycheck. It was like a career choice they were making. You know, it's not their first rodeo, but that's, you know, I was accused of this. I was accused of that. I was accused of this. Barry just goes on and on saying I was doing some child grooming with their kid, blah, 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 blah. A never-ending story with Barry. Badly out of focus. I'm not on camera. So how could it be out of focus? Anyway, the fool, and all this is, you know, obviously being screenshotted and printed on our printer and all that shit, you know, for further use. I still say it. I'll say it again and again. For a guy that wants his freedom, he's really not doing a good job of accomplishing that at all. Oh, somebody sent me a formal invitation to his wedding on February 8th. You know, I've heard about stories like this where people who've been incarcerated and really don't have any visitors, and except, an occasional visitor, they go out of their monkey-ass mind. They become highly delusional and out of their desperate situation and not knowing 100% what the future holds for them. Like, conviction for 5 cybercrime charges, which are criminal, not civil, and not Sybil Shepherd either. Whatever happened to her? Okay. He's making a first-class fool of himself. Like nobody knows that he's behind the channel, guilty as sin. Come on, Barry, seriously. My God, Magnum. Not really. A lot of legal issues. The only ones that I make into a legal issue. Taking a bull by the horn type of shit. No, there's no legal issues. I didn't appear in court. I appeared on Zoom, which should have been okay. But apparently you have to supposedly inform the judge that you're going to appear either in person or on Zoom, which I didn't. And he said, well, make a judgment over to the plaintiffs. And that was it. Yeah. It was not right because I did technically show up in court. I was in the Philippines, so there's no physical possibility I could have been there. So anyway, it's a bunch of nonsense, not even worth getting into, but Barry likes to make an issue about all this stuff because, well, he's got time on his hands. What else could he do, really? I caused the legal issues? No, I didn't cause the legal issues. You mean as far as this Hawaii thing? No, the tenants did. I was trying to sell the house. They wouldn't get out. They wouldn't let the realtors in. They wouldn't let the, what do you call, the inspectors in. They wouldn't let, because they did about $8,000 American dollars worth of damage in there. They were afraid to show me. They wouldn't let me see the property inside. They wouldn't let realtors and all this kind of stuff. They wouldn't let them in. I don't want to go into the condition of the house and how it was. I mean, you would puke if you went in there and you seen. Yeah, I spent about $8,000, lost about 4 months worth of rent and so forth and so on. So yeah. Well, it's a long story that I'm not going to go into. It's a played out story that plays no relevance. I have no criminal record. I have nothing. That's just Barry talking, okay? Got to understand where he is. Well, I thought I'd be his best man, Hagante. I was hoping to. I really was. But I guess his girlfriend don't think it's a good idea. A judgment based on my non-appearance. I was on camera, not in person. So the judgment automatically goes to the plaintiff. That's kind of how it works. That's all. Hope I answered the question. But he's trying to hide behind his other channel, which is Guilty as Sin. I'm not promoting it, but I think people know that already. They're not that stupid. And he goes on there trying to play like second, third party or person, or as if nobody knows it's him. I don't know, man, what to say. I have a lot to say, but there's just too much to say, if you know what I mean. I mean, about this character. I mean, I could go on for hours and hours and provide all the entertainment in the world you want about this guy, but I think most people are quite privy to his antics and his psychology and all that. You're asking too many questions. Yeah, we could be wedding crashers. We could. Well, first of all, there's not going to be any wedding. And As we've discussed, and many people have made comments on, there is no legal way under his circumstances. If it was other than that, yeah. But there's no legal way under his particular circumstances that he could actually get married. Of course, not qualifying with the NBI, his record, and you know, being a overstayer for 7 years and being incarcerated for it, not having an active, valid visa, a passport that's going to expire in like 5 months, and you're supposed to, actually renew it 5 months before it actually expires, and all the other legal requirements that are, required. They even do a proof that there's no felonies or charges against him in the country that he came from. In his case, of course, he owes a lot of child support. He denies it, and which is basically turned into a felony because the amount of years, the amount of money that he owes over time, and he keeps on producing something, well, $11 he owed on a unpaid check, but he doesn't want to show all the other discrepancies in his the legal world. In Alabama, well, they made a lot of allegations that this and that, and that it was a list about a mile long, which of course never occurred. But as I said, they're professionals. This ain't their first rodeo. They thought they'd see a paycheck. That's all I could tell you. Okay, and that's why I'm not paying anything. They can't legally take anything from me because I don't have any assets in Hawaii. My bank account is protected because of Social Security. Well, actually, I'll tell you exactly how it works. You have a two month leeway on your Social Security show, whatever's in your bank account. You have a 2 month free period. If you got any money remaining in there after 2 months, they can legally go in there and take 15%. But since I'm always cashing my money on the ATM machine for my Social Security, it doesn't leave anything in there. And you still have 2 months anyway. So no, they're never going to receive a peso from me. They're not going to receive a dime from me. And that's just it. There's no legal way they can collect from me. There's none. Absolutely none. So all this for them went for nothing. But, last I heard through the grapevine of people I know in Hawaii, I guess their life has not been going very well. I think the couple is separated from each other, and there's been domestic things I heard going on, and I'm just a messenger, only going by a neighbor that we know that I've been in touch with. So life hasn't gone very good for them. The family is pretty much separated off between Oahu and Big Island, and yeah, karma kind of hit hard on them, and I'm definitely shedding a tear over that. Gandhi said, I know that that's his pipe dream, but the idea is funny as hell. Yes, it is funny as hell. The dude cannot get married. And if his girlfriend is buying into this, I don't know what to say about that. There's a lot of things I don't know what to say about her. Use your imagination. She contributed in her own demise, as far as I'm concerned, legally. But I'm not going to go into that. She'll find out on her own as time goes by. Well, as you know, she put a complaint in on me, for those that don't understand it. And she was edged on by Barry himself and his own recording, he coerced her to put a case on me to get me thrown out of the fucking Philippines and deported. And I think it's working against her now, and probably has created some friction between her and him. Because now she knows that she could be, according where this goes, she could be charged for perjury and harboring and abetting him, because she's the one that took him in when he was running away from immigration. She had full knowledge, despite what Barry says, full knowledge of his being harbored by her. Um, Proof is that before they arrested him for his immigration overstay in his girlfriend's house, they had to investigate to make sure he was staying there. So they did not want to go in and make the arrest until they knew he was actually living there. So what they did was they did their own investigation, and kind of almost like a stakeout, really. They went there a couple of times, and it was separated from one time to another because they couldn't hang around in the area because it was far from Cebu. It wasn't a hop, skip, and jump, so they had to come back two times to make sure he was still there. And when they knew he was going to be there, and this was all instrumental for the arrest, and actually quite calculated and investigated by me and other people that he would be there. He did get caught. He did get arrested. And 5 agents have witnessed it. And even my lawyer. My lawyer went along for the ride because he was so interested in this case and wanted to see this man go down for his immigration overstay. So witnessed by 5 agents, by my lawyer, and by a confidant of mine who led them there again. He was the one that led them there to know where he lived, but they had to investigate it to make sure that was the address, to make sure that he was there. And then when they were satisfied with it, they arrested him. There you go. Stefan, this is crazy that Barry posted that information about that you have he had $10,000 arrest warrant in the States. He posted a location. Yeah, I got that. That was all sent in to my attorney this morning. But before I did that, I screenshotted it and printed out these screenshots so I have some permanent copy for myself. Like I said, man, the dude he can't stop. He can't help himself. He is bitter. But he still doesn't get it. He still doesn't get it. He's not doing anything to help himself at all. He's hoping that his girlfriend's complaint comes to fruition, but there's no guarantee to that. And as I said again, I have other resources to fight against that. And I've done things on my own, and my lawyer's done things on his own to provide information to a particular office that's involved in this, and showing that it was absolutely coercion to his girlfriend, that she was very much into this cooperation with Barry, and was indeed coerced by him, but more forced to do this. So nothing adds up. So they piece all this information together. She made a lot of claims that because of me, which never met her, that she got PTSD. She must have been a war veteran. She got PTSD because of me. She's afraid to go out. She got depression, but what was introduced in evidence was also, and I could say this because it's pretty obvious too, that she's out having a good time. She's dancing on screen, TikTok, and having a wonderful life, as one of her videos was entitled, "Life is Wonderful" or something like that. And then she attends, of all places, she attends the New Year's Eve party, which Barry, a detainee, attended. And there was drinking going on, and she's dancing and singing the karaoke. Oh yeah, it's a real telltale sign that she has PTSD, and she's depressed, and she's afraid to go out, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Yeah. What am I being accused of? No, I have a case against him. Okay. 5 cyber libel counts. He's actually on trial, expat chef. Stefan, at first I thought Shaw was just an innocent person being led by Barry, but she knows right from wrong. She deserves to be held accountable. But that's going to be up to the DOJ and so forth and so on. And that really has nothing to do with me. We had to, of course, present evidence of her cooperation in this. And, we had to, my own self-protection, to show that this complaint was absolutely bogus and invalid. She did not include certain videos or anything like that to prove this, saying I called her a whore and a prostitute. There was nothing turned in on it. It was a blank sheet of paper, basically, with invalid accusations which were not backed up. The preponderance of the evidence was absolutely lacking. So we'll see what immigration says on this, because we've been very proactive in this. I'm not going to go into all detail, but we've been very proactive into this in providing the proper information that, basically makes her statements and so forth invalid. But, we just go from there. That's all. As I said, there are other avenues to approach on here, which is probably not going to be the greatest situation for her. I would imagine it's actually nothing that we're doing. I mean, we're not doing anything. This is something that'll be picked up by the immigration, and all this information will be acquired by the DOJ, and it's kind of like their deal if they want to. Oh, I mean, here's the thing: we could impress upon this if we want. Oh, absolutely, we could impress upon this very easily. We certainly could. There's no question about that. There's none. But we're going to see where it goes before that happens. But we may not have to do anything because that may happen in itself. Yeah. Okay. No, she doesn't have a case against me. She has a complaint against me. She wants to try to get immigration to remove me from the country, deport me as a undesirable. So she put in a wackadoodle report, a really wackadoodle report that made no sense at all and no real backup, no real videos to prove. I mean, it was just, to me, it was a blank piece of paper. That's what it was. It was a def- definite attempt to cause harm legally to me and so forth and so forth. Okay. Sid Hattrick says he needs more time to think, and yeah, I think he does. So they are threatening to deport you for calling her names. Yeah, something like that, which I never did. I mean, look, I got a copy of the damn thing, you know. I know what was said. You know, I can speak intelligently about this because, I mean, obviously I got a copy of the report. But you know what, they put a charge sheet on me is what they did. And before my lawyer, this is where he screwed up too, before my lawyer or myself even received this certain charge sheet, excuse me, from the immigration, he was flashing this and reading this all over the internet, all over YouTube. And that was a bad move on his, and the court does know about this. Yeah, seriously. Seriously. Well, you have to understand, as a famous video clip that's still on there, I think, and others, to try to get me deported and thrown the fuck out of the country. So, the Board of Immigration, in their inquiries or whatever, I forgot the exact name of the department, but they have this information. They also have videos of her partying over at Barry's Correctional Detention Center, and Barry was active there. You could hear his voice. There was liquor on the table, and I'm sure there was a big to do about that. You know, a big no-no for both the guards and himself, I guess. Then she put a video on herself. He wasn't just recording a video of the event on New Year's Eve, that they let him out of his cell. He was partying. She was dancing and singing. You know, the girl with the PTSD and depression, the same one. Yeah. Uh-huh. Same one. Same one. 42. Ho, ho. See, when you're not on there for a couple of days or something, boy, they just come. Build it and they shall come. Build it and they shall come. Okay. Expat chef. All that. Yeah, something like that, dude. Well, you know, spin the wheel, round and round it goes, and where it stops, nobody knows. But yeah, there's going to be recourse to this. There absolutely is. How would you like to be somebody put a report on you to just out of angst and anger and bitterness because of their situation that they put themselves in, to have your partner or somebody else file a report on somebody, an invalid, bogus report, to get even, to exact revenge. That's exactly what went on. Talk about some crazy jungle laws, threatening deportation for calling someone a name. Yeah, but I didn't call her any names. That's the whole thing. mean, how they even accepted this complaint, I have no fucking idea. Who knows what was involved with that, and I won't go into any more words or details on that. Use your imagination. Yeah. However, it's going to backfire. I actually know a few things I will not discuss on here. Barry keeps on saying I got a surprise coming. The BI is going to come to arrest me. For what? For what? They have not come up with a resolution. In fact, his lawyer has been totally silent, and no communication from his lawyer to my lawyer. And as I mentioned before, he was supposed to file a motion to the court to allow him to do a plead. What do you call that? For pleadings, anyway. Okay. Forgot the word, but he hasn't even done that. He hasn't even done that. There's no resolution that's been sent to me or my lawyer in regards to her immigration phony complaint. None. Zero. The guy don't even communicate with him. And every time he tries to do it and communicates with his lawyer, the lawyer gives him advice. What does he do? He goes against their advice. He even said that in court. His lawyer was on the screen. He wasn't there in person. He says that in so many words, and I don't know the exact words, but he said that he has not been cooperative with his legal counsel. So basically his lawyer is like, I'm not really putting priority on my client. That's what's going on. I don't know, expat PH. I don't know. I'm not going to say there was any corruption involved with that. I cannot say, and I will not say. But I'm not saying that it's improbable, but, but I can't prove that. So I'm not going to say it. Yeah. Viking Sun. Oh, hopefully her complaint won't mess you up when you will need to do a visa run. Well, time will tell, won't it? Time will tell. And even if they got me as an overstayer, a short period of time, you just pay the fees and fines. Now, when you have a long-term overstay like him, it's a big difference, okay? Yeah. They're not really interested in short-time overstay. I mean, they're interested, but they're not, they're not like major priority, If the overstay was not of your doing because of a legal complaint, there's a complicity in this, But they understand that. You pay your fines and fees or whatever. That's all. I'm guessing a lot of... Okay, well, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't answer that question for you, and I'm not even going to say it on here, whether I think there was or not. And there's Anthony, AJE. Hello, Antonio. Speaking of Antonio, my uncle Tony didn't answer his phone. Hope he's okay. He's the guy that's over 100. Sharp as a pin. I call him every week. He's a good guy, my father's brother. And I call him at a reasonable time. There's like a 12-hour difference, really. Well, if you like, by our time zone and whatnot, just calling on the phone. If it's 6 in the morning here, or if it's 7 in the morning here, it's like 6 in the morning over there. Fall back, But actually to call him more like 8, it would be 7 in the morning there, which he's usually up. So he didn't answer this time, except it went to a recording. So I left a message for his daughter saying, hey, this is my email, in case of anything, let me know and all that shit, William Abrams in the Philippines. I read in the Sunstar, a LGBT person has an arrest warrant. He was called Sir and proceeded to gender educate the waiter for 2 hours. Well, I don't know what that's about. I have no interest in the LGBT community whatsoever. Sorry. I'm not privy to that information. I don't know how it has anything to do with the price of tea in China, what we're talking about. I have no idea, but thank you for sharing that. Looks like Brevis was putting out a couple of videos on a waterfalls he went to visit, and I question was, I even commented, said, "Who the fuck gives a shit? You don't have many followers, Brevis. Nobody gives a shit. What's your goal? To say that, oh, I'm doing things with my girlfriend. Well, good for you." He said, nobody's been there before. Well, you've been. Now you told everybody else. Now everybody else is going to go to those waterfalls. He just corrupted the fucking Philippines by, showing some idyllic place, nice waterfalls, two different ones. Very pretty, by the way, Breeze. But now, like, the word is out. Just like Kahena Beach in Hawaii, that was like a little place that you have to walk down this kind of a treacherous walkway, which is about 30 feet high. So if you're imbalanced, it's not suggested. The only way to get down there, because it's not a public beach, it's just state-owned, and it became a haven for Rastafarians and nudists and stuff like that, and potheads and everything else you think of. It was very difficult to get down there. But then they all started talking about it on the internet. Now it's not this little enclave that, is hidden, and everybody and their grandmother goes there now, and it's no longer kind of a discreet place, shall I say, to visit. How long have you been in the Philippines? Oh, I don't know. I think by February, about 9 years, but technically, I don't know how you look at that. It would be 8 years because I spent over a year in Hawaii during the COVID era. Couldn't get back until they opened up the Philippines, as long as you had your your shots. And when it opened up, that was my opportunity. I said, I'm out of here. I managed to find a buyer for the house because I went there actually to kind of deal with the tenants, but I went there to do maintenance on the house, and I hand painted the house in and out, and fixed a few things up and gutters and whatnot, and found a buyer. So when I got back to the Philippines, I already had a buyer set up and everything was done electronically. And it all turned out pretty well. Of course, the tenants were legally booted out. There was a eviction situation where they were told that they had to leave. That was great. I was able to get my house back, And to the horrible surprise I found inside, you wouldn't want to, you wouldn't be too happy as a landlord. You wouldn't be happy at all. That's what they were hiding the whole time. The living conditions they created for themselves was so horrendous. You walk in the bedrooms in there, the brand new carpet I had in there was turned like 8 shades darker. It smelt of dog piss. They had two dogs that they hardly used to let out, and they just piss all over the house. There was shit on the floor. There was litter, like papers and stuff all over the floor, a mattress, and in both bedrooms of the three bedrooms, the biggest one was not really bad. That was the converted into a room, a big room, very big bedroom. That was okay, not bad. But the two main bedrooms, they were like, man, they were just torn apart. The blinds were bad. There was, they even wrote on a mirror. They sketched in something on the mirror in the bathroom. The medicine cabinet was falling apart. The tub was almost like, orange because of rust, and blackened because they never cleaned it. And oh, it was terrible, man. It was terrible. Viking Son, we should get one more show from the bummer before he gets transferred next week. That will be epic. Before he gets, what impression did you have on that? What transfer? There is no transfer to Bikiton. That was another sob story to get people to donate to him. No, there's no transfer going on. No. Just curious, which was bigger, your home in Hawaii or your place in Bantayan? No, my home here in Philippines, actually. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they were just configured differently, the rooms and size of the rooms and all that shit. It was a nice little place out there. I can't complain. It was a wonderful opportunity to own a home in Hawaii. How many people own a home in Hawaii could say they ever did? Not many. Over 14, 15 years, or I don't know how long. I felt I was pretty privileged to be able to do that. It's really hard to buy a home in Hawaii, no matter what part of Hawaii you live in, for a good price. But it was a seller's market at the time, so I did pretty good on it. I was actually shocked, to be honest with you. I was shocked because I never thought I could ever get much money out of the place. As it turned out, seller's market, and it failed with one guy that wanted it. But then the next person came through, and it was sold. And last I heard, the guy who's living there kind of keeps to himself. He doesn't talk to the neighbors. I don't know. The value of the house actually went down a little bit too, instead of increasing in price. I don't know what's going on with that, but I do a check on that now and then. You know, the value of the house. I just punch in the address and all that, and you have a number of agencies, that come out with an estimate on the house value per square foot and all that stuff. It actually went down in value, so my timing was actually pretty good. Just curious, which okay. Well, I don't know where you got the impression that he was being transferred next week to Big Baton. That would be a great thing if he was, but no, me and the lawyer, nobody would have any information on that. We would know something on that, I'm sure. Because if any legal documents have to be sent or anything like that, we need to know where he is and all that shit. It's just another lie from him. So, I mean, he was born to lie. Some people were born to ride. He was born to lie. I mean, should I say more, really? Nothing has changed with him at all. Nothing. And there's really nothing going on. There's no resolution to his girlfriend's complaint. It's taken an awfully long time, and that's a pretty good sign right there. You know, they have this, what do you call, protocol, I guess you'd call it, on how the procedural things work. But just because they would come up with this is called a standard deportation order, and there's a difference between, there are really quick measures to deport somebody in a short period of time. This falls under a legal standard. And this could actually, at some cases, according to what it is, take 2 to 3 years to actually deport somebody. This is not something where somebody, stabs somebody, or it was a real big case or something. This is from a standard complaint, which takes very low priority on their desks. And don't forget, even if there was a standard deportation order, still it can still be challenged. And we've got that. We've got those options. According to my lawyer, we do. And who knows better than me but my lawyer? And what I read too, and not to mention what I read. So I would have to say that there is recourse to this and all that. So repercussions for somebody else is quite a possibility, man. Is there a reason for today's show? No, I just decided to put a show on. Oh no, I was mentioning how Barry put something on his other show, which everybody knows is guilty of sin. He's trying to play like third party in there, third character. We don't know it's him. What a doofball. Saying that, oh yeah, there's a $10,000 reward on me in Hawaii, and I got a case against me in Hawaii. I don't have anything in Hawaii. The judgment from the judge, which only has to do with the fact that I didn't show up in person, it was a civil case. Period. No criminal, nothing more to discuss. And it just goes to a collection agency. That's all it does. I could go in Hawaii, dance around in front of the police station. I could, whatever. I'm not going to get arrested. Not even for that. You might say I'm a nuisance. Why are you dancing in front of our police station? As an example, anyway. I could run through the streets and yell, the sky is falling. They don't give a shit. I go there anytime I want. I'm not going to be arrested on a civil case. There's no warrant of arrest against me on there. There's nothing except the files, whatever, the judgment has been handed over to a collection agency. That's how it works. I've been through this before. I had which I had to pay when I sold the house. Unfortunately, I made 18,000 less on the house, uh, which would have been good. That's almost a million more pesos. And I never got anything in the mail anymore about. I'll be honest with you. I had a card on there that I totally forgot about. Totally forgot about. I thought it went into. I don't know what they call that. The basic thing is I didn't pay on a card. One card. That was it. One card. And I don't even remember the company, to tell you the truth. And even on the paperwork, they didn't mention the company. It was just, still have no idea who the creditor was to this day. But as the rule works, if you owe money in the state, if you have property or anything like that, they can take it out of your property. Your funding. Okay, in other words, you sell the house, and the escrow company has, they have this note of this. And whether you like it or not, they have to pull it out of your house. So don't get into that situation. Apparently I did. So, that could have been, another million pesos I could have got on the house. Oh well. Past is past, history is history. William says, I went through a similar thing with Mr. Joe. Does Asia definitely wears on your nerves? How are you handling the stress? It's just every day for me. No, I don't lose sleep over this. Every day is the same to me. I wake up and do what I need to do and get it over to the next day. I do little things on the side I won't talk about legally, but not to discuss on here every now and then. Of course, I record all Barry's screenshots and all that stuff. That'll never end because more evidence is a lot better in the long run because all my lawyer has to do, it doesn't cost much money to do it either, is to file a motion to the court to introduce some other evidence. Don't forget there's a second case pending for him right now on his death threats. And just like he didn't think I had any evidence on the cyber libel stuff, and he got totally shocked when he seen it on the screen in there in the courtroom. And his reaction was, how the fuck did he get a hold of that? How does he have any videos of me on camera saying that? Does anybody know how he did that? He's since removed that PayPal link. No, his Travel America show is still there. He's just not posting on it. He did once the other day, something like that. But no, he's doing posting on his Guilty as Sin. He's just posting all these negative videos about me, which again are all being screenshotted. His statements when he's reacting to comments on there. In fact, I just did some of this morning, actually. No more than about an hour and a half ago. I'm going to print it out later. I haven't a chance to do that, but I'm just going to print it out. Oh, you did? Oh, okay, hold on. No, she apparently already printed it out for me. Okay, done deal. Okay, good. So you can't remove that now. Good deal. Who is... Oh, what am I hearing? Oh, heard something else. Okay. Guys, I don't know how you all look at this, but you must be looking at it the same way as me. You're in total awe of this whole thing. Nobody's ever had anything on this except for like Johnny Warrior when Allah was attacking him and putting court records and all this personal information out on the YouTube. There's nothing ever that's ever happened as close to that as this. So it's created a lot of drama on here. But what he doesn't understand is that, you can be cocky if you want, but you see the thing, and bitter, of course. He's bitter that he's in this situation, but again, the first statement is he caused it. Second statement is being bitter and producing stuff on YouTube, which is it's like a big, no. Come on, dude, if you were charged with 5 cyber libel charges, are you going to go back on YouTube again? And all this time, he's had these charges for quite a while now. Obviously, he's on trial. Would you go back on YouTube and still do defaming and, type of shit again that got you those 5 charges? A normal thinking person would not do that, but then, who we dealing with here? Define normal is another thing. Define normal. On YouTube, that's kind of hard to do. But you got the stalker, Brevis, and oh God, we got the characters, man. You got Big Kevin, who's out buying microphones and stuff and complaining that he's broke because he's spending all the money for company for women to have a drink with him so he doesn't go out of his lonely ass mind. People make mistakes and they pay for it later. Big Kevin is paying for it right now. He doesn't know where he wants to go, where he wants to be. His initial goal is the Philippines, but he doesn't want to concentrate on that, having to do with his immigration issues with the Philippines. He doesn't want to pay it off. He wants everybody else to pay it off. Meanwhile, he's out there ringing the bell in bars and, and getting drunk and drinking, which is bad for his health, and paying for these drinks just to have female company, somebody to talk to him on pure desperation. He's not settled either. Not even, it's just amazing. It's just freaking amazing what these people do with their lives. Now, I can't predict the future, but, with all this evidence on Barry and everything and his admittance of pleading guilt in court, I just don't think there's going to be a really good coming of him when it comes time for the judge to make a decision. I don't know, he's pretty much relying he's going to get a slap on his wrist and maybe 40,000 pesos, but you can't guarantee that. I mean, the judge could give him how many years per count? I mean, I would have no way of knowing that, and if I don't have no guarantee of knowing that, then he certainly doesn't. So, yeah. William Abrams says, I think Brevis is okay. He just wants to be part of the cool kids club. No, he's not okay. This is a genuine stalker by his own demonstration. He's been going to all these people that are somewhat infamous or whatever on here to show his face in there to say that, hey, I'm very relevant. I'm very relevant. I don't know what the psychology of him is totally, but it's not all there just by his by the videos and the comments he makes on shows. I mean, it would lead anybody to believe that there is possibly a screw loose somewhere, a couple of them. Of course, he was chased out of America because I don't know what it is, a gang or something was after him. The rumor was he owed money. He worked for a marijuana dispensary, which he told me himself. And he actually used the same words before he left the gate when he visited me. He says, it saved his exact words were, it saved my life. This is exact words. It saved my life for me to come to the Philippines because if I would have stayed there, and I don't remember what the rest of the words were, but those are the words that he did use. So don't forget, he had what do you call against a TRO against someone out there who, and Allo made that more clear. I originally looked this up and I introduced this shit, but Allo kind of finished off on it. Yeah, there was somebody out there that was actually being very threatening and to him and or his family. So he got a TRO against them. And there must have been something pretty big happening that forced him to flee to the Philippines. No, he's not okay on my level. I don't like him. My girlfriend don't like him. And he's been pushing his luck for a long, long time till his luck will run out like anybody else. Brevis likes to talk, but when, Mick Fisher came over there at that bar, it wasn't until Mick Fisher left that Brevis said, yeah, I was locked and loaded. Well, you weren't locked and loaded when Mick Fisher came in. He didn't like Mick Fisher and blah, blah, blah. And if Mick Fisher did anything with Licky, that he was going to come in there and show him how it's done. But he wasn't locked and loaded then, but only when Mick Fisher left, he was locked and loaded. No, he's not okay. There's nothing right about this guy, morally or anything. Moral turpitude, and you just name it. He's not moral in any way. He just wants to be in the limelight. I don't know why. But you have to know his past to understand. He quit college, a halfway decent college. Father had money. He goes to college and works for a fucking marijuana dispensary. Oh, go figure that. I don't know. Claims to have all this Bitcoin money. We don't know that. Like Barry always says, show proof, show proof, show proof. Yeah. Yeah, but Master of Puppets says birds of a feather and such. Yes, indeed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was really thinking whether I was going to put a show on or not this morning. I had a wild hair. Yeah, as you can see, my heart is not into it here at all. I get more joy out of just listening than posting. That's pretty much what it comes down to, yeah. I'm at that point. I mean, seriously, at that point. I'd rather just get a few laughs by listening to the postings and listen to Big Kevin go off and talk shit about me and everybody else talking shit about me and Barry talking shit about me and lying to everybody on there. And yeah, like, oh, I have to get out tomorrow. They're going to send me to Bicutan. Well, obviously not in Bicutan because he's using his phone, obviously. He's leaving comments on his own secondary show, which is Guilty as Sin. Even came on his Travel America show briefly and said something on there. He's leaving, recent community postings on his Guilty as Sin show. And his most recent thing, which I did send it over to the attorneys, is that he's giving people how to find me, a picture of my house, a picture of me, a map as to how to get to my house. I mean, the guy doesn't give up. He doesn't know when to quit, He has no idea when to quit, but all this is just working against him. I don't know if he fell on his head when he was a kid. I don't know, or whatever situation. He got hit over the head by some guy in a bar fight or something. Whatever happened, he still don't know if it's a stick or a stone or a bottle. He was unclear about that to everyone. Can't keep his story straight, but maybe that did something extra to him. I don't know. Then being incarcerated didn't help him either. He's going out of his monkey-ass mind in there, I would imagine so. Well, I know so, It's pretty obvious. You could hear the stress and strain in his voice when he gets upset with me and he does a show. Then he tries to imitate me. That's the part I like. But I do that with him too. I try to imitate when I'm talking about, yeah, well, he said, you gotta admit, that is funny. Call it what it is. That's just fucking funny. And if this whole matter with him wasn't serious, then, you would really have to have an enormous belly chuckle about this shit, because no one would believe that this is real, that this guy really exists, and that he does these stupid things as much as he does. And this has got to be choreographed. This has to be fiction or something. This can't be real, but I guarantee my viewers this is very real. He is actually on trial. Criminal court, yes, he is. He's actually on trial. And what happens with his life when it comes to the end of this trial is your guess or mine. William Abrams says, if you did drop your case against Obama, the comedy would increase. No, nobody's dropping my case. I'm getting a lot of intimidation from his good buddy Timmy, which is not his good buddy anymore. He don't even want Timmy to write him anymore. Timmy's always writing me all these intimidating type of letters, and then he goes back, he's on my side, then he's on Barry's side. Then even Barry of all people said he didn't want to hear from him anymore. So Timmy goes back and forth over the fence between me and Barry and all that. That's just back and forth. I gotta fill a bottle with water here. Try to get a hold of you know who. Yeah. It's hilarious. I told Timmy, I said, Timmy, if you're not on meds, maybe you need to take them. Well, I can say this with a number of people. Right now, Barry really needs some antidepressant medication. Hey, I'll tell you who to go to for that. In my case, it's not for depression, but Yeah, I can't imagine that he's having a gay old time. I don't mean gay, but I can't imagine he's not having a gay old time in there. Not meaning anything related to sex, of course. Gay meaning a great time, great time. Oh, because it's YouTube, man. It's what they do on here. It's just one big boys club and game. People like to create drama, and you know, then I get the best of them a lot of times, and I prove them wrong, and they get extra mad at me, and then they do more shows on me. They devote shows all about me. That's how famous I am on here. I read today the overstayers of 6 months or more will be severely punished. Well, he's got 7 years in. Well, let's put it this way: I don't really think the outcome is going to be great for him. But as I always honestly say, and I'm not going to be like Barry and predict the future or say this is that and this is that, because I really don't know. I have no clue. Well, I have clues, but I can't prove them. It's not written in stone. But yeah, I think because of his continual defamation coming on his other show, which we could prove is his. I mean, it's so easy. You know, they're not stupid over it in the courts. They're not stupid. You know, they've been through this shit before. The point is that he doesn't stop. And I guarantee, tell you, as they say in the South, that if I was in his position, I'd be damned if I'd be doing any more YouTube shows and repeating the same mistakes over and over again. But you're not dealing with somebody who apparently, again, by his own demonstration, I love to say that because Popeye hates it. That's why I say it a lot. By his own demonstration, is getting him into deeper and deeper doo-doo. Abrams says you're definitely undefeated. Well, like I always say, there's no real contest going on here, William. Maybe he thinks it's a contest or something. It's not a contest for me. It's called justice. And yes, I will do everything I need to do to protect myself, legally and otherwise. I'm not any different than anybody else in that respect. If it was you, William Abrams, I mean, you'd probably do the same. No, or you may decide to take the law in your own hands. I mean, that's a decision you have to make with someone like this goober. Of course, it's always better to do it legally because there's ramifications on just about everything you do. Yeah. Brain Damage says, BI's main site, January 8 article, BI to go after those harboring undocumented. Show us. I'll send a link to the article. In my show, I like proof. It's easy to make a comment on here unless you could show a link to show me what was on there. I do check the BI site every now and again. Well, if it is deemed that she's been harboring him, then she's in a hell of a lot of trouble. I mean, she knows what she has to do, but I can't force her to do that. It's our own evidence, me and the lawyer, in regards to this immigration issue, deportation thing that she's trying to do, the complaint. It's not a case, it's a complaint. To prove. And according to the documented material that my attorney has sent in, and along with myself, they have to put two and two together on this and come up with a conclusion that there's some discrepancies going on here. Her statements in the complaints, they don't add up. How immigration looks at this, I couldn't tell you what's on their mind. But before they can make a radical decision of such like that, they have to clearly believe that there's no intervention going on. They have to clearly believe, and they have to examine all the evidence. They have to examine, was there coercion going on? I proved there was. Was her statements in the complaint well documented? No. Was there a video or anything where I called her a whore and a prostitute? No. Was there proof? Because you have to put it in your affidavit. She says she had to seek psychiatric counsel or something like that. because she had PTSD and depression. She feared for her life. Where is those documents? She didn't produce them. So null and void. Null and void. And everybody's seen her over there partying and everything at the detention center, drinking and singing. You've seen her other videos in the past. She's walking into a red trellis and said life is wonderful. And she's like, for a TikTok thing, and she's like actually dancing, walking down this kind of a wooden painted red trellis. Have you guys seen that? If you have, let me know. All this was introduced. All of that. I seen that on their Facebook page. They are going after pogo workers. So maybe you're referring to pogo workers. I don't know. Okay, well, you're talking about pogo workers, so maybe not the same. They have a lot of interest in pogo workers. Complaints like hers are taken very lightly, but they still, as a legal entity, they have to investigate this no matter what. They cannot issue a deportation warrant or something like that, whatever, without there's a board that meets of like, I think 3 people, and they have to mull over all the evidence, and they have to come up with a conclusion. And I would venture to say that they're scratching their heads, saying, or else, there would have been some kind of notification so far. There would have been a resolution, good or bad for me. So far, look how long it's been. They're not decisive, apparently, but they might be soon, because there's been, other evidence sent in. Barry's statement, of course. He was coercing his girlfriend to do this complaint, and other things I won't talk about. So, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Stefan says, why is Shaw even bothering being with Barry anymore? When Barry gets deported, he's never come back to the Philippines. Their relationship will be over as soon as Barry gets on the plane. Well, you know that, I know that, but I can't answer that for her. Brain Damage says, it says any individuals harboring any individuals. No, oh really? Well, I still like to see that. Send me an email, I give out my social media email, which is frankinhawaii54@yahoo.com. Feel free to send it. She's not marrying anybody. Because William, I guess you haven't caught up with that stuff. He's in no position to get married. He even set a date for February 8th even. Even got a date set up. I don't see how that's humanly or legally possible. He doesn't have the docs. He does not have a valid, which is one of the prerequisites, he doesn't have a valid visa. Okay? He doesn't have the financial prerequisites to be allowed to marry her. And he will not get a BI clearance that, he has a case on him, criminal case. There's other documents too. And I'm not going to go through the whole list, but you could look this up. I don't know, has he got a fixer or something? I don't know, that wouldn't be legal either. And what if she did marry him? Now the question is, what is the... okay, well, I've already answered that question in the past. The reason he wants to get married to her desperately is he thinks that it'll give him a stay in the Philippines if he's legally married to a Filipino. That was the thing. Yeah, that's why. In other words, the utilitarian tool things, that she does serve a purpose for him. Absolutely. That was it. Yeah. Master of Puppets. Jay don't know the difference between a complaint and a charge. A complaint won't show up on NBI ECC. Yeah, likely not. In fact, I got an NBI, it's been 2 months now, I got an NBI thing that I never picked up for an NBI clearance for me. I guess the next time I go to Cebu, I'll go pick that up. I know that expat forever. But when his lips are moving, as a result of his lips moving. Even his bullshit about, I'm being transferred to Bicutan. He did a show that he removed, and he was really upset, and upset that they're going to transfer me to Bicutan. He's still there. He's still at the detention center. He's still posting, and he's using his Guilty of Sin channel to do that too. So obviously he ain't in Bicutan. Obviously not. How would he take the marriage class unless you need prior to being married? Right. He can't leave there. How is he going to take the marriage class? You have to go. That's right. You do. You have to go to a marriage class and other things besides obvious things like Senemar and all that NBI clearances and also international records, whether he has a record in America and all that stuff. And he's just bullshitting everybody. But then again, I don't have to tell you that. But if you're new to this, okay, now you understand if you didn't before.
Ego Jane complex.
Huh?
Ego complex.
Hold on a minute, folks. Okay, sorry, I had to speak to my lovely, wonderful, beautiful girlfriend. Oh, he's even come up with a transfer date. Well, I don't know. It's funny that my lawyer don't know about that. He says he has no clue. Of course I'm going to tell shit like this. Well, you know what? If that was true, okay, if that was true, number one, my lawyer would know about it, one way or the other. And what else was I going to say? I'm sorry, but I lost my train of thought because I had to talk to my girlfriend. Okay. Um, as far as his phone usage right now, um, immigration came down on his ass after they received those videos of him on New Year's Eve. Both both the girlfriend's video, which really didn't do good for her, and his own. And they received that, I know as a fact, because I sent them it. Belonged to my attorneys too, and they put it on a card. And actually, that was actually given to BOI, Board of Immigration. And what's going on there, and why Barry's able to post, is that they didn't take his phone away. Remember when he said immigration came over, they're going to come over the next day, and they're going to take all my paraphernalia away? Okay, again, of course, another lie. What did you expect? No, what's happening is that they're probably pissed at him, and the guards are even pissed at him, and they're allowing him, maybe by law, to, I don't know why I didn't just take his phone and crush it under their feet, but they couldn't do that. And his game player and all that shit. Probably told him that you don't need to use the phone to order your food, which he does have to do. That's true. But he sneaks in that little bit of time to make comments on his show or create something on his Guilty as Sin channel or whatever, post something on his community page, and he gives the phone back. That's what I think is actually going on. Yeah. Double mint gum. Biggest prison is Mandawi Tagalog region. Barry would never be sent there. Cebu is Bisaya region, and I've got the name of the prison for his level of crime. You guys are dumb. Frank, no forcing the judge to. Frank, no forcing. Oh, hi Barry. That's Barry. Hi Barry. Everybody say hello to Barry. Yeah, Barry talked to Barry today. Oh, really? What did Barry say, Double Mint Gum Barry? Yes, he did plead guilty, but you see, it's complicated. My lawyer does not have to accept his guilty plea. And if he doesn't, then the trial just goes on and the judge will make his decision. But the judge did hear his plea of guilty, and the court reporter did put that in the minutes of the court reporting. So that's not a good thing for him. But what his lawyer hasn't done, he wanted to do a plea bargaining with my lawyer. But in order to do that, oh, I could talk about this. It's elementary stuff. It's superficial stuff, but it's important stuff. By law, his attorney has to file a motion to the court to do some plea bargaining. Okay. In order to do that, he has to file a motion. It has to be accepted by the court. And then if it's accepted by the court, presented to my lawyer. Now, all they've done so far was kind of I don't want to call it an off-camera thing, an off sidebar thing that he did talk to his lawyer, and his lawyer made some demands that were not going to be met by my attorney at all, like dismissing the case and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Oh, let me catch up with these. I think it's Bicutan, actually. I don't know, I might be wrong. Who cares? But it's going to be real interesting to see what this turns out. I can understand the people on YouTube taking an interest in this, because it's quite a bit of drama. Oh, there's absolutely no doubt about that. There's plenty of drama. But unfortunately, I just can't help thinking that the outcome is not going to be great for him, and his quest for freedom has been totally abrupted by his actions and his continual posting and evidence being collected. And let me tell you how this works in detail further so you understand a little more things too. What was submitted by him in the past and what's submitted on a affidavit is exactly what the lawyers have to cover. No more than that. You can't enter anything else unless, listen now, unless you file a motion to do so. That means nothing else can be added to this case, any extra evidence, unless you file a motion. So, that's exactly what my attorney's going to be doing, because we have come up with so much more stuff. But you cannot legally introduce that in court. No, 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 no. Even I'm saying that. Everybody likes to make fun of my blueberries, but I have it every morning. Okay. Pardon me while I eat my blueberries. This is an exclusive broadcast. Don't expect a whole lot more. This is really not much to say. I'm just doing a reaction video, which I haven't done for a while. A good reaction video. There's really nothing to update. There's really nothing. I mean, there's nothing going on. Double mint. Tagalog region is where your classification language occurs. American state in Luzon or Cebu region. Never Mindanao per embassy standards. Well, hell if I know. William Abrams says, wow, blueberries, ain't seen them in years. Double mint gun detainment does count. Ask your mom. Huh? I think that's Barry or something. Or breathing. Yeah. Double mint, dum-dum. Don't fight, boys. Don't fight. Come on. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Hello, Jack Doe. That's what I meant. Their spelling is wrong. That's got to be Barry saying that shit otherwise, prior to this. I can't even spell my own name. You're supposed to know me so well, you can't spell my last name. Well, you know, your guess, guys, as good as mine. I just go about my day. You know, I'm not losing sleep over this. that comments were made in other channels. I actually got a good 7 hours in last night. That's pretty good for me. It's called getting older. Abram says, I'm sorry, Frank, but I'm sure you agree detainment does not count for time served. No, it does not. That's where Barry Boy is wrong and other people. Right. It does not count as time served. You would be correct on that. Correct, Amundo. I know. His son won't even send him money to get bail. He talks about my family. Oh, my daughter wouldn't send me a lifesaver if I was drowning. Sometimes we have family situations that are very challenging, to say the least. But, you know, life goes on. You raise them, you love them, then they put a dagger in your back. Oh, well. What can I say? This is life. These are people, modern day people. The world is falling apart. People are killing each other with no reason. People are attacking each other on social media and outside of social media. The world is being split up socially and politically. There's a lot of shit going on out there, guys. That's why this shit that goes on YouTube is so infinitesimally small and, you know, just irrelevant and just pointless. His future wife won't sell a motorcycle even to help him. I know, isn't that something? She won't even sell the motorcycle. Duh. What? She's supposed to be supportive of him, so supportive, and puts in a complaint on me that she's being so supportive, but she won't sell the motorcycle. You know why? Well, because her brother uses it, that's why. And, you know, you get used to having something, you know, you don't want to take it away from you. Hope I answered that. All right, more GCash people. We did get a couple of donations. I know a few people hate to say it, but let me give out the numbers again. Are you guys ready? Pen and pencil? Even give you two choices. 0969-369-3217. That's mine. And the other one is Gilda's GCash. 092-778-32433. Either choice. There you go. And yes, we did get a couple of donations. And yes, I am due to take my lady out to a dinner like I promised. And that's what the money initially was for, as a way of saying, oh, Gilda, we feel bad for you, what you had to go through with all this shit. You're a good woman. We support you, and you deserve the best. From all of us, from our hearts. Mama made sure to wish his son a happy 18th birthday. Probably no response. Master Paul, yeah, a 3-year-old scooter that's been wrecked. I'll give them 20,000 pesos. Haha. Invisible friend says, and her family are connected. They could easily guarantee on their land to get him out. They won't. There you go. You guys are making very relevant points here. A family that's supposed to love him. Remember, he lied about that too. When he said that, you know, or she said that her family knows about him. But then at one point said that it was only her brother and her 2 sisters that knew he was actually in jail. And then another point, Barry himself said that I don't have their back, the family. I don't have their back. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. Invisible friend Bama is going to have to see another Popeye Christmas special in 2025. It's perhaps how everybody's connected. Even Hawaii, everyone out there is related to King Kamehameha. Well, because King Kamehameha was screwing everybody out there. Just about everybody who's Hawaiian blood is connected to King Kamehameha. I mean that's a fact. And all Filipino families are pretty well connected. They got so many relatives and cousins and all that. It's one big family, interconnected, really, in the Philippines. God, you know how many relatives my girlfriend has? I had to try to remember all their names. I'd be in bad shape. I can't believe how many relatives she has. Jesus! Oh, Invisible Friend said, I keep on watching CNN, but no news on his lockup. I was supposed to be worldwide news that he's in jail and his rights to freedom were taken away, and he's, yeah. The Don C special showing the old people carrying signs will never come true. Yeah, and yeah, not likely. People are not, look, people are not supporting Barry. Look, he's got people that follow him to kind of, you know, get antsy with me. That's all it really is. They're just, but behind the scenes, they know everything he's done. You know, come on, 10 years of doing all this shit. I mean, everybody knows everything about this guy, and, you know, everything from relationships to you name it. I mean, this guy is like a popular Netflix show or something, you know. Everybody's seen it, you know. But I love some of the stuff he wrote in his other channel, Guilty as Sin, and on his community page. The guy is out of his monkey ass mind. I mean, he truly is at this point. He's just throwing out whatever's in his head that he wants to say, backing up, not backing it up with any, you know, viable information or proof. He's called me every name in the book, and I suppose, so supposedly the newest thing there now is that there's a $10,000 reward on me in Hawaii. Get this. A warrant for my arrest. A $10,000 reward. Not. Not. For what? A civil case? Like I said, I could go to the front of the police office and dance and whatever I want to do. He's not going to arrest me unless I do something in public that's indecent or something, or pull out a gun or threaten somebody or whatever. That's done and over with. Hawaii is past. It's history. The professional tenants, as I call them, are not getting a goddamn dime off me, and they never will. There's no way they could. So who really won? I think I won. You know, if their efforts didn't bear any fruit, then who won? Who won? I had a civil case, not a criminal case against me. Barry likes to push that all the time, though, but it's irrelevant. Be on Fox. Yeah, Master Puppet says it will be on Fox News, so Trump can see it and bring him home. Invisible Friend says, I can't find the other channel. Did he spell sin wrong? You'd have to really search, because there's a lot of things in reference to Guilty as Sin. There's a lot of references to that name. What about the Brevis and Jerry show? Two nerds. Yeah, I saw that. That was funny, actually. He does not know the differences between arrest warrant for a bad check and a civil case. I know. And he still thinks that he's all free and clear when the time does come for him to get deported. He thinks it's all fun and games. It's not. He has bench warrants out for him, and it's now considered a felony when you are way years past due on your child. It's a big issue in the United States, child support. And it becomes a felony It's a combination of how long and how much. So I don't know. I'm thinking, and so is everybody else, that the minute he gets off a plane, that he might be arrested. It's not over for him till it's really over. Invisible Friend says he does not know that. Okay, got you on that one. I'm actually enjoying this show. I'm glad I decided to come on. Gilda had to take care of some chores. And I have to continue a little project around here with the painting inside of some cabinets. I keep busy. I'd go out of my mind if I didn't, really. Oh, there was a show on today. Who was it? Oh, hold on. Anyway, Invisible Friend. The idiot has an arrest warrant for a $10 bad check. He's so poor, he wrote a check for $10. It was $11.53, I think. And he could not make it good. So imagine having a wife and some miracle, which you can't do, to get her to the United States. How the hell is he going to support her on less than $600 a month? You're talking about United States. Yeah. Well, I don't know. The boy is a dreamer. Well, you continue, Barry, to keep on posting on your other show. We all know it's you. It's a charade that you can't hide. People are not that stupid, Barry. You might be, but people are not that stupid in general. We got a few idiots out here, of course, but I think in general they figured that out a long time ago. That was your channel, Barry. Yeah. Barry's going to buy the Waffle House? No, what he's got saved from SSD, I just don't think that's going to happen. The Waffle House could cost several million American dollars to take over a business if they were for sale. And where's he going to come into? No, not pesos, but dollars, several $million or something, or whatever, more than that. To buy a business out could cost you $10 million if it's an established business. He's buying the Waffle House. He can't afford to buy a box of Eggo waffles, nevertheless to buy a Waffle House. Well, he could always go to the store and buy the frozen waffles and try to set up some kind of stand somewhere with a propane tank or something and get one of those waffle maker things. But that runs by electricity. You have to find just to get a plate, a metal plate, you know. He can sell waffles, and what is he going to put on them? Dressing, that costs money too, you know, whipped cream, fruit, stuff like that. So I don't think that would work out. Nah, I don't think so. Now, there is something I do know about that I am not telling you guys in reference to him, but I'm going to keep that to myself. No, his future don't look bright. That's all I can tell you on that. There's some things I could discuss. There's some things I can't discuss. But what is he going to do? If his master plan of having his girlfriend put a complaint on me and the board decides to go against it, what's his angle from that point? What's going to happen then? Mia says, hello, I stumbled upon your channel. I am familiar with real estate, and the Hawaii sale caught my curiosity. Did you say you had $18,000 outstanding on a credit card and didn't know about it? You find it unlikely. I be honest with you, I forgot all about it. I never got anything in the mail. I'm being honest. I never got anything in the mail about it. It was my bad that I didn't pay what I owe on there. It was my bad, I admit that. But there was no other communication from that at all in the mail while I was living there. But as I said, that's my bad. And action was taken on that when I sold the house. It's nothing more or less than that. I hope I answered the question. Mia, yeah. We know who you are. There's a lot of things you can find unlikely on here, but that are actually the truth. Yeah, it was my bad. It was my bad. We're not perfect. And I never claimed I was. But I don't do things like Barry does. He don't pay anybody he was owed money to. Anyway, I satisfied that bill when I sold the house, so that's all over. Not even worth talking about. The creditor got their money and everybody's happy and everybody went on their way. There you go. Move on, McDuff, is what I say. Tenants ain't getting a dime from me either. Poor thing, as we say in Hawaii. Poor things. Poor things. I don't know, last I heard there was a lot of crap going on within the family unit with them. My understanding there was a separation, a fight. The kids are separated and some might be living in Oahu now. Talk about karma. I did file bankruptcies. I had a couple of them, several of them. It's an American right. You know, there was a time when things got kind of out of control. And I did. And it was my right to do it as an American citizen. That's why we have these things. To start fresh. And guess what? No sooner did I have any of these bankruptcies, boom, 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 within the same year, which is almost impossible. Within the same year, I tell you, I bought my first house in Seattle. Within the same year of having a bankruptcy, a little over a year. I tried to build up my credit, okay, things like that. And that doesn't happen within a year or so. Generally, to reboot your credit, it could take 5 to 10 years. It's still on your record. And I had a bankruptcy on my record when I bought the house. When I bought the house. And it wasn't from really a private individual because the house was, it was a foreclosure. It was a foreclosure. No, it's not the answer is to claim bankruptcies, no. But, you know, if you have a situation you have to, then you have to. Ask how many million other U.S. citizens have had to file for bankruptcy. Some legitimate, some not. I'll give you an example. There's a lot of cases where guys are going to college to study being a doctor and all that kind of professional stuff. And they went and filed bankruptcy so they didn't have to pay all their loans. That happens all the time. So they got their education paid for, basically. They didn't have to pay for their education. Yes, that kind of shit happens all the time. But keep in mind, it's a legal right that you have in America. Not everybody wants to file bankruptcy. You have to really think hard, long, and strong on ever doing something like that. And if you needed to, that's exactly what you did. If you had no other choice, then, you know, at the time to take care of a certain situation, then what are you going to do? It's a way of protecting yourself. It's a way of giving you a head start. And ever since that happened to me, I got my credit in order, and it was all good. So yes, you can, if you wish. I'm sorry, I gotta defrost this broccoli. Hold on. Hold on a second. It's an American given right, just like Social Security is, If you put in your time, you think I got this for nothing? People say, you cheated the system. No, I didn't cheat any system. I was on a disability status up until I became on a regular Social Security status. You know, reasons have not been disclosed, and I've never disclosed it on here. But it was all legit. You had to go to different places to get tested physiologically, psychologically, blah, 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 blah. And these people are not stupid, by the way. Now, I don't know how Barrett got away with that. That's a good one right there. How the hell did he get away with that? Well, I don't know. I would think it's, in my opinion, of course it's only my opinion, but again, by demonstration, I would lean to say that it was psychological, mental. Because there's really, you know, you guys know this, there's nothing wrong with his back. All the shit that he can do, come on, like I said, timeless times, you know. If he could ride a motorcycle 100 miles, if he could screw some woman on his lap and use his muscles and skeletal structure to perform that, there's nothing wrong with his back. Yeah, there isn't. And if you had really bad back problem, then you would know exactly, I guess, what I mean. It would be very hard and very hurtful if you really had, because when you're on a motorcycle, you're not straight up. Proportionally, you know, your body is not straight. You're not having a posture, a straight posture. And there's no way in the world he could ride motorcycle long distances if he had back problems like he claimed he has. There is no way. There is no way. Again, when his mouth is moving. So how he got away with that? No, I think it is not physical when it comes in. That's my opinion. It is not physical. It's clearly, to me, not physical. Although he's not in the best shape. Well, okay, he's not in the best physical shape in the world. I mean, grant you that. But no, I don't think it was based on that. And like I said, he had plenty of opportunity while he was in the Philippines. He's claiming about his SSD just came through. Yeah, right. You know, it was always there. I mean, how do you think he's buying this shit? How do you think the dude is ordering all this Grab shit and stuff? It's not free. It's like $13 a day spending. I don't know what he's spending. And you really think his girlfriend is doing that great at her store and everything else to give him money every day, and he's not really getting any donations? So where do you think it's coming from? Take a wild guess. You know,